Hey everybody, what's up? It's time to review the big one. Well, the one everybody saw when it came out but me because I didn't see any of the other movies when this was out. But it's the one that pretty much made this franchise even a bigger name than it already was. Furious 7. Yeah, it's not called Fast and Furious 7, just Furious. I mean the fifth one was just called Fast 5. But why are the titles of these movies so weird? But anyway, so the plot of this movie is Dom and his team are recruited by a covert ops leader named Mr. Nobody, played by Kurt Russell, to stop this terrorist named Mose Jaconda, played by Jaimin Honsu, and he's tries to obtain this hacking device, so they're trying to stop him. While meanwhile, Owen Shaw's brother Deckard Shaw, played by Jason Statham, plots his revenge for Owen Shaw's death in the last movie. So they all gotta stop Mose and try to run away from Deckard and complete the mission and just hopefully survive a whole bunch of crazy car chases. Yeah, this is the one everyone saw when it came out. And okay, this I'm gonna flat out say it. This movie was probably just a huge hit just because Paul Walker died before it came out. I mean, like when you really think about it, that really did influence the general public's interest in this movie. But to be fair, he Paul Walker as Brian O'Connor was a character that's really been he is the main character after all. I know Vin Diesel was the breakout star, but Brian was centrally the main character. So in a way, yeah, I get it because he played a character that associated with a lot of people. His performance resonated with people because he's part of a huge franchise. So that I at least understand. But that said, it is a really good, conclusion to Brian's arc because throughout the movie, like he just feels like a good family man. Like he seems really happy with Mia. He really is happy with the whole team as friends, and they really still have great chemistry with each other. They all really get along, and that's really what makes it so good because everybody in this movie really just supports one another. Like everybody has great chemistry. They all work extremely well together, just like in all these movies. And yeah, like I said, Jaimin Honsu plays the villain, and he's great. Like I always found him to be an underrated actor. I always liked him, so he made a good addition to the franchise. And yeah, he just pretty much is just a hacker terrorist, but that's kind of what these movies are like. They go through like every kind of cliched action movie villain, but these movies are just more about how characters deal with pretty much any action related situation. So that at least makes sense because, all these movies they go through terrorists and mercenaries and mobsters and just about everybody. So it makes sense why the villains aren't exactly uh, completely original. But that being said, like it's still a good story. There's still like I said, the characters really make it work. The scale is also really big. It's full of action, lots of insane stunts and car chases and like yeah, like even though there is still some, like a lot of car related things, like it's not about racing because this franchise isn't really about racing anymore, but it's great seeing everybody together like even though Paul Walker has no long is this is the last time he movie he did before he died, but he goes out in a respectable manner. Like if you purely see this movie just because of Paul Walker, you're going to be totally satisfied, and it's a very uh, well worthy conclusion to his performance, and it's but and a lot of people say that this should have been the final one, and I guess I could understand why because the Paul Walker did play the main character essentially, but look, this is gonna sound really. I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I don't hate the fact that there's been more after this because this franchise is just so full of likable people. Like, it's not just Paul Walker. Like, he's great, but like everybody else is so likable and funny and just really charming. So it's full of an ensemble cast, and it's really makes these movies good. And it's full of, fun action and just a bunch of, like I said, they do everything in the book. I know I'm really repeating myself. I'm sorry, but it's just good to see at least them reunite, have one last shot with one of the guys. So it's really good. And like not gonna say a thing, but let's just say the ending really sells it. It made it really seem like it's a really satisfying conclusion to Paul Walker's filmography. And it's very sad what happened to him. But that said, that really does make this movie. But that's not the only reason why this movie's good. Like, it's good just because of, the action's great. It has a really good plot. It has a really interesting villain. It's just everything works. Like, it's not good purely because one of the actors is now dead. It just goes out with a bang. And like, I'm I wouldn't have been against if this was the final Fast and Furious movie. Like, this would have been a final conclusion. But I don't hate the other movies. I mean, I'm not seeing Fast X until tomorrow, but that's besides the point. But I think it's a really good movie, and I could see why it really tugged at a lot of people's heartstrings. And yeah, it was definitely worthwhile. Yeah, I think it's one of the best in the series. Is it my favorite in the series so far? This could be, but I also really liked six, and five was also really good. But I don't know, this franchise, like, it has a lot going for it. So yeah, Furious 7, like, I'm sure if you're, I guess, unless you're like me and are really new to this series, I'm pretty sure you've all seen it at this point, because I think, like, when it came out, it was like the fifth highest grossing movie ever made or something. But it is a really good movie. All tragedy aside, it is a really fun film, and it's a great addition to the series. So yeah, Furious 7, I do really like it. So I'll see you later with my next review. Hopefully, I'll get the next two done in time before I see it Fast X tomorrow. So bye.